Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to RDR Talking Numbers. As you can see, we are in our virtual studio, so to speak. We're doing a little bit of remodeling, as you can see behind me. We're doing a little something here and there. They're not over my left and right shoulders, but they're still in the building. We got the coach, Ryan, and we got Mr. Fax, Ron, down here as well. We're coming to you. We're going to present another show, as we always do, and we're just looking forward to talking about a few things that we have, on our agenda. Before we get into the show, I just want to remind you, number one, if you're listening via a podcast platform, whether it be Apple or Google, iHeartRadio, any of those places, make sure you subscribe so you get notifications when content comes out. In addition, if you would go over to our YouTube channel, RDR Talking Numbers. That's number with a 3 instead of the E, as you can see over my shoulder. Subscribe to that as well. We have different content that appears on YouTube in addition to the video podcast where you may be watching as we speak. Follow us on Instagram as well. It's RDRTalking_podcast. Interact with us, ask us questions. The email address is listed there as well if you have topics or things you want to discuss or just want to chime in on some of the absurd things that these two guys might have said. They get off, they say some wild stuff on here. So, but listen, we're going to jump right into this, and I'm going to throw the ball to Ron to start it off. We've got a new segment we're going to debut today called The Forgotten Star. So, Ron, take it away.
As we talking, am I throwing a person out there who I think is a forgotten star?
Yeah, it's all you. Doing? Your segment's all you. However you gonna run it. It's all you.
I believe a forgotten star is a player that, injury might have stopped what he could have been. And he just get overlooked. I mean, it happens with a lot of players. There's some players that don't get their proper respect. A guy that's a forgotten star to me is I done said his name a couple times, Brandon Roy, because I don't think people truly understood when you look at the two guard, right? So if you look at two guard and you throw out the last 30 years, right? A lot of the guys that pop up is Michael, Kobe, Allen Iverson, James Harden, Dwayne Wade, Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, Clyde Drexler. I'm not going to speak on too many other new age. I'm not like the Klay Thompsons, the Zach LaVines and stuff like that. But a guy like Brandon Roy was leading his team as a rookie. And he was putting up numbers, and he was battling the Kobe Bryants and battling the young Dwayne Wades, Ray Allens, and those guys. And a guy like Kobe Bryant said Brandon Roy had no weaknesses in his game. And we talking about, rest in heaven, Kobe, but we talking about a player in Kobe Bryant that you had to be that guy for him to give you any type of respect. Kobe didn't just go around giving respect to regular dudes. You had to be a monster. And for him to say that a guy like Brandon Roy had no holes, Brandon Roy was 6'5", could play both guard positions. Didn't shy away in moments, was hitting big shots in playoff games, was taking on key matchups against the other team's perimeter guy. His knees just gave out on him. And I think that a guy like Brandon Roy, if he don't get hurt, is one of them guys that arguably is in somebody's top 5 at that position, because he was a complete guy. He played both sides of the ball. He can shoot mid-range. He can shoot 3. It'll take you off the dribble. You'll get yoked on. He didn't have no holes in his game. And 6'5", 2 guard in the National Basketball Association, that's a big boy. You're going to have to come see him every trip, especially when on the offensive side, he got 3-level dude. And 3 levels is that guy that can score perimeter, paint, and 3-point. and knew how to get to the free throw line and knew how to, okay, I'm the guy. Y'all about to put everything, y'all about to gear up all y'all defensive things to stop me. And he did that. You know what I'm saying? I think that guy is a problem, would have been a problem. It's sad that we didn't get to see a 10-year. I'm not even asking for 15 years. We didn't get to see a 10-year solid. Because when you talk about an NBA player, you got players that's playing for 15, 16 years, 17 years. But just take that 10-year stretch from them guys. And you'll see what that guy truly is. Any player, take LeBron James 10-year stretch. Take a Kobe Bryant 10-year stretch. Karl Malone, KD. Take their 10 years. All the other stuff is icing on the cake. What you do for a decade, we didn't get to see Brandon for that decade.
Let me pose a question, because Brandon Roy is a guy that I enjoy watching. And as you mentioned, he kind of paralleled Kobe. Obviously, Kobe's older. He was a couple years younger than a young Dwayne Wade. Ryan, let me ask you a question. And Ryan, feel free to chime in here as well. Give me an idea of what you consider elite two-guard numbers. What are those numbers?
Your two guard is your scoring threat. Anywhere from 23 to 25 points a game. He has to be efficient, because this is the guy. This 25 is the threshold.
Okay.
Because this is the guy that we need you to get us a bucket.
What about
at the
other
two guard
numbers?
position?
What other categories? What should I see from those other categories?
See, I'm from the old school. You got George Gervin. You got David Thompson. You got guys. Just put the ball in the basket.
So you're not
put the ball in the basket. I'm not worried about facilitating playmaking. I'm worried about putting the ball in the basket and try to be as efficient as possible, because anybody can chuck up shots. If you pass the ball, fine. But if you pass the ball, we know that you couldn't get the shot off. That's why you passed the ball. But Brandon Roy was a very versatile and all around, just overall, just great basketball player. For the brief stint he played, 326 games, 19 points a game, 19 points a game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Okay, he shot the ball at 46%. He shot at 35% from 3. But I remember Brandon Roy as just being that calm, cool, settle everybody down, but he was very reliable. And, it just so happened, his body gave, like Ryan said, his body gave away, bone on bone, and he just couldn't do it no more. He's one of them. He had a fun career, and he was trending up. Another one of Ryan's terms, he was trending up.
Absolutely.
But his body just gave way, and, he just couldn't do it no more. It kind of reminds you of Clark Kellogg a little bit. If you ever look at Clark Kellogg's numbers, his little 5-year stint his little 5-year stint with Indiana, but he packed it all in. Yeah, he did everything he could.
But it's like what Brian said. But to me, I do look at how the shots passed up and the assists you get, because when you look at the top 5, arguably the top 5 best two guards that in the last 30 years, Michael Jordan was a 5-assist guy. Kobe Bryant was a 5-assist guy. Allen Iverson was a 6-assist guy. Dwayne Wade was a 5-assist guy. James Harden is a 5-assist guy. You're talking about guys who still was able to get you 25 a night and still give you 5 helpers. So because
you're talking about system guys, though. You're talking about system guys. Kobe system, Michael Jordan system.
What system is that? System of winning?
Triangle.
Michael Jordan was getting you 8 dimes a game, and he wasn't in the triangle. Michael Jordan averaged 8 assists a game under Doug Collins. Wasn't no triangle.
They was throwing up everything on the wall to see what stuck with Doug Collins. Doug Collins said we built a team.
Okay.
We built a team around Mike.
Okay.
Mike loved Doug Collins.
Michael Jordan averaged 5 assists with the Wizards too.
And Brandon Roy was in that same. He's in that same conversation for the
So
career 5 assists a game.
what I'm saying is when you bring up guys like George Gervin wasn't passing that rock.
No, and I don't want George Gervin to pass the rock. I want George Gervin to score.
And that's but here's the thing: George Gervin is not a better scorer than anybody of them people we just named. That's in the. He might be a better scorer than Dwayne Wade. Other than Dwayne Wade, George Gervin is not a better scorer than anybody in that top 5. So maybe he should have passed the rock a little bit, because you're talking about Mike, Kobe, James Harden, and AI. George Gervin's not a better scorer than them guys. Period. Point blank.
Go ahead.
Period. Point blank.
Go ahead, Ryan. Say it. Go ahead.
He can't. He can't because he got to keep
it
it 100. He can't. He can't. I give you Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, he better score than Dwayne Wade.
Not than them other cats. Not than the Beard. Not than the Goat. Not than the Mamba. Not the answer. Like I said before, if all you can do is score that rock, you won't make that list. You have to be able to control it. Because here's the thing about a guy who can average 25 and 5 dimes. He knows all the defensives is centered to stop him. And he still can get a minimum of 10 more points from them other guys on his team. Hey, pass that rock, man. Because when we look at guys, when we look at that other half of the guys that 2 guards, you're talking to Reggie Millers, 2 assist guys, the Klay Thompsons. Them guys are not in a system where they're going to make sure everybody else eats. They're there to get their 20 and go sit down. A guy like Mike, AI, and all that other stuff, they was having double teams at the tip-off. So they knew, hey, I'm gonna get mine and I'm gonna get this other cat involved. So not to piss on the Iceman, because he did his thing. But
Iceman's highest assist total, highest assist per game was 4. And that was in 77, 78. He led the league in scoring with 27.
I ain't even have to look. And I know if his highest is 4, that means
his highest is 4.
That means for his career, he averaging 3.6.
No, 2.6.
I'm gonna say 3. That's not quite 3. Yeah.
Hey, I'm off by.
Hey, man, shoot the ball, man. Just shoot the ball. I don't know to the back.
So let me ask you this. You know, obviously this is all conjecture. You know, nothing can be proven here. But where do you slot Brandon Roy if we were to see him play it out? Is he in that second tier guy? Because I consider the second tier is probably Walter Ray, Reggie Miller.
No.
Clyde Drexler. He's not on that level.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, because he was an all around player. So his number, he kind of remind me of Penny. Penny could have turned it up a little bit higher on offense, but he was an all around player.
Here's the thing. For his four first years in the league, when he's not dealing with injuries, he gave you 17 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, rookie of the year.
Yep.
His next season, he gave you 19 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Third season, he gave you 23, 5 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
His next season, he gave you 22, 5 and 5, and 5 and 4. So here's what I'm saying about that.
And that's
right?
when the injury started.
All right, do me, do me a favor. Give me the shot attempts.
The shot attempts he took as a rookie 13, second year 16,
next year 17,
third year 17, fourth year 16. It's a lot of shot attempts.
He's shooting, he's 45 or better.
You want generally you want your so and when we talk about creme de la creme or even elite, you need to shoot it at least how many times a game, Ron? At least.
I don't care how many times you shoot it. I'm talking about how many points you play on the shots. I don't need you to chuck the ball up 23 times to show me you're the guy. I don't need that.
James Harden shoots 15 threes a game.
That's James Harden. You went to the top. You went to the creme. Hold on for a sec. Hold on. A guy like Reggie Miller, highest shots a game.
Probably 15.
16. Almost say 16 to 17. 16.
16. It was his third year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we're talking about a guy who was averaging 20-some points a game. 16 shots a game is a lot. Dude, we ain't talking about the top 5. We're talking about the Ray Allen of the world. Let's see what Ray Allen was doing.
And we can't forget that he was playing with the young and dangerous LaMarcus Aldridge during some of this time.
Ray Allen, his first few years in.
Go to Seattle.
Seattle. 19.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
19, and his last year in Seattle, 21.
All right. How many threes did he attempt a game?
8, 7, 8, 7, 7, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I mean, dude, let's go. Let's look at a guy. Let's look at a guy like Drexler. Let's look how many times a guy like Clyde Drexler was hoisting that baby up.
Oh, he had that 18-19 ballpark too. I'm sure.
He get for his career 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he had years where he gave you 20 twice, 18, 19. But everything else is between 7 and 15 shots a game.
Yeah.
Who else you want?
Brandon Roy was exceptional talent. No question.
Exceptional talent.
In his look,
What you call it? Penny Hardaway was an exceptional talent.
And you don't think Brandon Roy was? The numbers are better.
Why was Penny more exceptional than Brandon Roy? Because he went to the championship?
Well, he gave you more.
Okay.
Did he really though?
And Brandon Roy's career.
Okay.
Let's get to this. In Brandon Roy's career, Brandon Roy only gave you 300 some odd games.
Yeah.
He basically only played 4 uninjured seasons. So after that, he played one more year where he averaged 12 and he was coming off the bench a lot. Then he retired. Then he came back and played 5 games for Minnesota. Now, so let's just look at his first 5 years in the league. In his first 5 years in the league, Brandon Roy is a 2-time All-NBA player, a Rookie of the Year, and a 3-time All-Star in 5 years.
5 years.
This motherfucker that played 12 years ain't got 2 All-Stars.
and quite frankly,
12 years ain't been 2 all-time All-NBAs. So listen, for his short NBA career, 2 of the years, he was top 6 guards in the world.
And to piggyback off of that, Penny's best year is very similar to Brandon Roy's best year. Penny got 2 more assists. 21, 7, and 4. That's pretty doggone close to what Brandon was doing.
But if you look at Penny's, I'm looking at Penny's career. It's kind of compact like Brandon Roy.
He just played longer. He played longer.
Well, his wealth was probably 1, 2, 3, 6 years.
Yeah,
correct. Maybe 7 years. 6
Agreed.
years. 6 years, 7 years. 6 years, 7 years, somewhere around there. So you look at both of them. Penny 3 All-NBAs, 4 All-Stars. It's the same. It's basically the same. They the same.
Okay. If it's basically the same, then how can you say that Penny is more valuable than him? It's basically the same.
Is it the optics? I'm going optics.
Yeah, because again, you're going optics. Nobody's watching Portland Trailblazers game. We've been watching
You watched the Portland Trailblazer game. You saw it.
I'm a different basketball fan. I'm a different type of basketball fan than the average dude. I don't care who they say you need to check out on TV. I don't care nothing about that. Because the cat you need to check out on TV, they got you watching cats that you be like, man, come on, he ain't that good. This the guy that wants you to check out. He ain't done nothing. He ain't done nothing.
Yeah, Brandon Roy, he we need to drag about 3 to 5 more years just to see what we's capable of. At least 10 years.
He didn't reach his prime yet. You know, we're tapping out at 26 years old, 27 years old. You know, you don't really get into you may be in your prime physically at 22, 24, but the understanding of the game, that's the guys matured at 28 to 32. That's kind of the sweet spot.
I don't know, man. You put the ball in the basket at age 20, you put the ball in the basket at age 30. I mean, it all spins the same, in my opinion.
Agreed, but I'm just talking about that prime of the career.
It all spins the same, so you can be a superstar your first year in the league.
There you go with that superstar. We're not talking about that superstar. We're not talking about that.
You talking about, listen, the way LeBron James put the ball in the hole when he was 18.
Year number 3.
He looked better when he put the ball in the hole at age 35.
No, I disagree.
Say that one more time.
I said
LeBron James 31 points a game. I'm not taking that 31 points a game over the current LeBron James.
He didn't average 31 points a game in his first year in the league. You said
no, third year.
Okay, so let me get this right. You think LeBron James is a better basketball player when he was averaging 31 than he is right now?
No. I'm saying he's a better player now. He's a better player now. But I was just defunking that prime thing. That prime. Because
prime means a lot.
Is Kevin Durant the same player now as he was 8 years ago? If you look at the numbers.
No, he's not. But no, he's not. I'm gonna tell you why he's not. He's a better defender now. He's averaging more assists now. No, he's not the same player. No.
He's a better all-around player.
He's probably smarter today as well.
No. Let's stop with the all around. Let's stop. He's a better basketball player, period. If the 20-year-old KD had to go up with this KD, the 20-year-old KD wouldn't score.
What about the 2016 KD with OKC versus the 2018 KD with Golden State?
You asking who will win?
Who will win?
The 18 KD.
I agree.
Why?
The comfort level seemed higher. He seemed like a better basketball player, better, like Ron said, better shot blocker, better rebounder. He's a better facilitator of the offense, and he can score at will.
Having them teammates helps too.
Having them teammates helps, but this is what you gotta understand what it helps with. When you play with a guy like Clay and Steph, if you ain't got it going, they ain't gonna wait for you. Better have your shit together. They ain't waiting. If you play with Russ and Cephalosha, yeah, you can push it.
That's Cephalosha.
That's the real shit. When you play with guns, we ain't waiting because you ain't got it going. Playtime.
Yeah, we got somebody else. Yeah, we don't have to. You don't have to wait for you to get out of your slump. We got somebody.
So exactly. So that's when it's like, hey man, that's why you get in the prime. When they say a player get in his prime, what they say, the game slow down for me.
Correct.
Everything slow down. That's because now everything is 100 miles an hour. And since when it slows down for him, it just looks so much easier to a guy when he gets in his prime than what it used to look. Yeah, he looked a little more athletic back in, but when it slowed down for you, you didn't learn it. Everything is moving like poetry in motion. That's why you don't know what a guy is until he reaches his prime. Like you got some guys that have 3 solid years entering the league, and then you ask, what happened? Well, here's the thing. Maybe their teammates changed. Maybe the game never slowed down for them. Maybe they didn't put in the work that they needed to keep
better coaching, better system,
or worse coaching.
Yeah, that all plays a role. All plays a role. For
Or
sure.
worse, a coach can come in there and not like you. It's over.
Dan Issel.
Yeah.
Can legitimately come in there and say, look, man, we got to go a different route.
So that's Brandon Roy, our forgotten star.
Brandon Roy.
Now I want to transition here. I'm gonna throw the ball to Ryan. I understand you got a game no names for us.
Oh my God, let me go get my information. Go get my information.
We look forward to these.
Nah, not for real.
Me and Ron do. The listeners do too. The listeners love these.
All
They love these.
right.
Let's hear what you got.
I got 2 point guards, listed point guards.
Before you go, y'all didn't say nothing about my background, man. What's going on?
It's not. It's nice.
Yeah.
Look like it's on fire.
We
Need to
official
call
out here.
Need to call 911.
Let me slide over
You got
here.
I see you got a green screen set up over there.
It's hot. It's a little hot in here, you know. So we
I got
two guards.
I got 2 point guards, listed point guards. How about that?
Oh Lord.
My first point guard. It's a 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA.
Okay.
He has an all-rookie team. He played 846 games.
Good career. Lengthy career, I should say.
He averaged 19.3 points a game, 3 rebounds, 7.5 assists.
Ooh, okay.
He played a total of 13 seasons.
And he was how many All-NBA, how many All-Star?
2 All-Star, 2 All-NBA.
Wow, he got overlooked a lot. Well,
Yeah.
Those are nice numbers, 19 and 7.
I'm going to give you points, rebounds, and assists. No. I'm just going to give you points and assists. This is a point guard.
Okay.
Started from his rookie season to his last season. 16 and 8, 18 and 9, 21 and 9,
Figured it out.
22 and 8, 24 and 8, All-Star. 21 and 8, 23 and 8, All-Star. 21 and 9, 22 and 8, 16 and 6, 16 and 5, 14 and 5. His last year, he gave you 4 points, 3 assists. Okay. He had some great moments in the playoffs. I want him to make the Hall of Fame so bad, but we'll get back to that.
Okay.
My second guard, listed point guard, is a 3-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA. He played 735 games. He gave you 17.9 points a game, 3 rebounds, 9 assists.
Similar.
He played 13 seasons as well. I'm going to give you points and assists. 9.6 assists, 20 points, 12 assists, 23 points, 11 assists, All-Star. 22 points, 10 assists, All-Star. 20 points, 11 assists, 16 points, 8 assists, 20 points, 10 assists, All-Star. 16 points, 8 assists, 19 points, 9 assists, 20 points, 9 assists, 10 points, 5 assists. He sat out a season. In his last season, he gave you 7 points, 4 assists. He has a very decorated playoff run. Very decorated. And he has a most improved.
Are these guys contemporaries?
They probably walk past each other once or twice in life.
I know who the first one is.
Okay. The first person is Stephon Marbury.
Oh, we didn't pick him yet.
Why didn't You slipping. You need the ARPP card and some coffee.
I need the ARPP card.
Yeah, we didn't pick them yet. I'm gonna say
we
even knowing the name, I like one, and the reason I like one is there was just more consistency there. Two made a big jump in between that first and second year, and they rolled for a minute. One, Stefan, obviously, he came in rolling, and he just kept rolling.
But let's have the conversation. Okay, so Stephon Marbury was the first one. Kevin Johnson was the second one, the mayor of Sacramento.
I knew who he was, so you should let me guess.
With the Hall of Fame comment. That's what I figured too.
So Kevin Johnson.
With my pick.
Kevin Johnson has the itinerary or the basis for Hall of Fame, but Stephon Marbury, I feel, was the better basketball player.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
I agree.
I disagree, but okay.
All right, go ahead with your disagreement.
Well, now,
my first question
not knowing the names, who are you going to take, Ron? Were you taking one or two?
I knew who it was.
Okay.
So it was kind of hard for me to not to.
So you was going to take KJ anyway?
Yes.
Okay.
My question to you two guys is why is he the better basketball player?
I take Stephon Marbury because he just seemed smoother and more fluid. Kevin Johnson was I'm coming at you, driver to the hole. He had a decent pull-up, but it wasn't really smooth. I didn't really like his game. His game is super aggressive, and that's why he kind of stayed injury prone, because a lot of it was drive to the hole, dunk on you, get to the hole. He had a decent pull-up, though. He has gaudy numbers, but Stephon Marbury, it was a smoother pull-up jumper, real nice to the hole.
He had a decent long-distance shot, too.
Man, I love Stephon Marbury's game. He came up in an era where, it was tough. A lot of great guards in the 2000s, late 90s, 2000s.
That's why I said what I said.
It was damn near impossible for him to even get in there. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Tough. I kind of second that. And to be honest with you, if I'm taking one, I feel like if you're presenting me one of those guys to be my lead guard, I can't lose either way. It's not like I feel Steph is head and shoulders above KJ. I just prefer Steph. But I'll take KJ though, and we're gonna do some damage too. Flat out.
I don't even think it's close.
I'm listening.
When we think of a two guard, first thing we throw out there is how many points that person can score per game.
Okay.
That's what his job is. That's what his job has always been from the beginning of the time to now. Can the two guard put the ball up? To this day, when we think of point guards, we still think about can you get your teammates involved.
Correct.
KJ, like Ryan said, has seasons of 9, 12, 11, 10, 11, 10, 9, and 9 dimes while averaging anywhere from 19 to 23 a game.
And made the playoffs 11 years. 11 of those years he made the playoffs. 11.
Kevin Johnson was in Phoenix before Charles got there. You
finally
gave him a MVP, Hall of Fame, Dream Team type guy. They make it to the finals.
And we're close a few other times. They only made it once, but they were a shot or two, a possession or two, a game or two away in that stretch when they played together.
Stephon Marbury was able to come up a year later after Kevin Garnett and didn't like how the money wasn't matching.
I wish they could have figured that out.
So he chose to go and do other things. Every team that Stephon Marbury played with, it's not a knock on Steph because it's timing. He played with Phoenix with a young Amari Stoudemire. They don't do nothing. they get Steve Nash.
They get better.
And
Yes.
they
Yes.
get better overnight, which in all actuality, Stoudemire got better. Sean Marion got better. You added a Joe Johnson, but at the end of the day, they swapped point guards. That team became one of the best teams in the West.
Minnesota got better with Terrell Brandon.
I didn't even want to get up with that, because that makes my argument better. I didn't want to throw in Terrell Brandon.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that to him. At least I gave him a 2-time MVP. Then he goes to New Jersey, leaves.
Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
Now I will say this:
they go to the final 2 years in a row. So my question is this: I'm not taking Stephon Marbury to do nothing. He was a great. Listen, his numbers the first 8 seasons in the league is better than Steve Nash. Not even close. When his first 8 years in the league, from that 96 draft, you talked about Stephon, Allen Iverson, Kobe, Ray Allen, Antoine Walker, and Sharif. Those are who people talked about. They were the monsters. Stephon Marbury wouldn't get mentioned in none of those guys' breaths right now. Walker, pivotal role in winning the championship with Miami. Give me 1 second. Man. Yeah. What's up?
I'm taking Stephon Marbury myself. He had great years with New Jersey. He was good. He was great for the Knicks, in my opinion. I loved him with the Knicks.
I agree. Wait. Hold on 1 second. All right, I got you guys back. All right, say what you said again, Ryan.
No, I'm just saying Stephon Marbury, those forgotten years with the Knicks. He was great. I loved him with the Knicks. Loved him.
I mean,
and they weren't chopped liver. I think he always was the victim of greed, and that greed mantra followed him for the rest of his career, and he couldn't get out his own way.
Here's another thing, though, too, and, not to say, we did mention that those teams got better as he transitioned out. Number one, he didn't get replaced by chopped liver. Terrell Brandon's a good player. Obviously, J. Kidd, Hall of Famer, so forth and so on many people's Mount Rushmore for point guards all time. Steve Nash, 2-time MVP. But I think part of it, too, is not just about the player, but we also got to talk about chemistry and being a shoot-first guard, which he's probably the only shoot-first guard on that list that we just named. That's a little tougher to play with, especially when you got younger guys who feel that they can go. You got a Stoudemire and a Marion. And they're like, man, I wish we had a guard that would look for me first. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. These assist totals.
I mean, they're not terrible.
They're not terrible.
He's definitely
but you look at
point guard.
You look at these shot attempts, and boy, he 13 attempts, 15 attempts, 18 attempts, 18 attempts, 19 attempts, 17 attempts. 19 attempts, 17 attempts, 16 attempts, 13 attempts, 13 attempts, 11 attempts. So, but I think that's the new era point guard. That's that new era point guard.
He might have been a little before his time.
I don't think that those shot attempts are gaudy, man. They're not. They're 18 shots. You're talking, okay, at his highest point, he shot the ball 19 times a game.
Okay.
19 times.
It's 14 quarters in the game. That's not even, hey, man, it's 4 quarters in the game. That's not even 5 shots a quarter, bro.
All right, so on that team where he shot 19 shots a game.
He averaged 24.
He averaged 24 points a game. He had Keith Van Horn, Kenyon Martin, basically those were the only scoring threats.
Okay.
And out of all those, he shot the ball more than anybody. Keith Van Horn shot the ball 15 times. Kenyon Martin only shot the ball 11 times. Kendall Gill shot the ball 10 times. So if you look at that roster, he's got to shoot it.
Agreed.
So I give him that. Like sometimes when you criticize players for shot attempts, you got to look at the roster and see.
I didn't criticize him for 19 shots a game. I said that those are not. Those all he is doing is anywhere from 16 to 20 is number one guy. Number one guy going to shoot that ball. So
and he's probably the best player on that team.
See what I'm saying? So if he's the best player on the team and shooting the ball anywhere from 16 to 19 times a game, listen, man, you got some teams where, okay, you look at this shot attempt he did when he was 20. That's his second year in the league. KG had already been there 3 years. He's shooting the ball 15 times a game. He's the second guy. But see, he's shooting the ball 15 times a game to get 18 points.
So you're questioning the efficiency.
He's shooting 41% from the field. He's shooting the ball 15 times, making 6 baskets. He shot 4 threes a game, made 1. Even if you look at his tools, he was shooting at the 11, they get 5. Like, dude, he's the guy that was just jacking up shots. Like, hey, pass the ball.
Here's another. But you mentioned what, 41% for the career?
For his career, 43%.
Here's another name, and I don't want to step on any toes or somebody call me out for blasphemy, but another shoot first point guard that shot about 43%, Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson played 2 guard more times in his career than he played point guard.
And that's why they got Eric Snow. That's why they got Victor Page at Georgetown to free him up because they knew he was a shoot first guy. So we're gonna get somebody else to handle the ball and free up your scoring.
But did Snow really handle the ball though?
Yeah, he did.
What'd you say?
I said, did Snow really handle the ball? Or was
he initiated the offense. He initiated offense. He gave the AI, and everybody got out of AI's way.
That's not what happened, man.
Allen had that ball, didn't he?
No, Allen ain't had that ball. Look, let me throw some numbers out there for you. Allen Iverson played point guard his first 2 years in the league, and in the first 2 years, he gave you 24 and 8, and then the second year, he gave you 22.
He had Stackhouse with him. He had Stackhouse, right?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So when he became the 2 guard for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row with Snow, his assists in his first 3 years was 4.6, 4.7, 4.6. Then it went 5, 5, 5, 5, 6, 8. Then when he went back to point guard in Philly, it jumped back up to 8. So
that was also a 30-point a game year.
Yeah, exactly was. But Allen Iverson was shooting that ball 24 times a game. See, when you talk about a guy jacking up shot, if it ain't 20 or better, he's not jacking up shot.
Okay.
16 and 17 is a guy scoring in the offense. They probably got a couple more scores on the team, and that's how the ball is being shared, in my opinion.
Me and my guy, we was having a conversation. Let's just go. We gonna go left for a minute. We were having a conversation about were the 2015 Warriors better than the 2016 Warriors? And I told him the only difference was David Lee.
What year?
So
15 versus
2015 versus 16.
Okay.
I said if David Lee was on that 2016 team, they might have swept the Cavs instead of being up 3-1. Is that true or false?
Well, it's a statement based on your opinion. I don't think there's no truth.
What else was on the?
My question is this: you're saying the 15 team was better?
No, No, I think he's saying 16 is without. Yeah, I guess he's saying 15 is better with Damian.
You saying 15 is better, Ryan?
I'm saying 15 is better than the 16 team.
Okay. Steph Curry went from averaging 24 to 30. Clay stepped his game up. Draymond stepped his up. No.
Who took Lee's roster spot? Because he was not on the team in 16 at all, was he?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who.
He went to the Knicks. He went to the Knicks.
That's right. Okay.
He went to the Knicks.
No, he came from the Knicks. I thought and went there.
I'm sorry.
He went to Dallas, I think, or something.
Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that team. I don't think the team was better. I don't think the team was better.
And then we were debating if if OKC would have got to the finals, they would have swept the Cavs in 16.
You said that?
I said that.
No way.
The same team that was up 3-1 on Golden State, who was up 3-1 on the Cavs.
I don't think they would have swept them. If I had to make a prediction, I think OKC probably could have won. I don't think they would have swept them though.
It would have changed the whole dynamic of the NBA if they get to the finals and win that. If they just get to the finals, I think it changes the trajectory of the NBA.
In what way?
Because you don't see a KD going to Golden State, in my opinion.
I think you still see Golden State getting somebody else on that team. I think the team is still way better coached than OKC and way better coached than the Cleveland team. So even if they don't get KD, I don't think OKC then wins another championship because they get Kevin Durant. They still got a team full of regular cats besides him and Russ. They don't have a team. They never had a team.
I agree. They'd have been probably one and done, similar to the Cavaliers. I agree.
Serge Ibaka playing for them early was better than when he started playing for the late. Serge Ibaka that played for Toronto was better than the Serge that played for OKC.
I hear what you're saying.
Deion Waiters.
Oh, please.
Ropes.
Look, man, they had a team full of. Do I think they could have possibly beat the Cavs? Possibly. Maybe KD stays hangs on there for longer period of time, but I still think they had enough money. We have to look at them free agencies.
Or they re-sign Harrison Barnes.
I don't think they re-sign Harrison Barnes. I think they still go another way. They wasn't about to give
the money he wanted and the money he got. They got to get that to somebody else. You can get more bang for your buck.
They weren't about to give Harrison Barnes max money for averaging 12 points a game.
we get more bang for our buck with that.
They would have went a different direction. We would have to go look to see who was free agents at that point in time.
So let's talk about something that happened recently, and that's The Last Dance. We got a chance to get 8 weeks, or was it? No, it was 4 weeks, I guess. We got 2 episodes every Sunday of the Bulls' last run, and it also took you back all the way into Michael's childhood, Scotty's childhood, so forth and so on. What were your impressions of The Last Dance? And give me something maybe new that you saw or learned that you didn't know prior to. Because obviously we all lived through these moments, so a lot of it wasn't news to us because we were closely watching, I'm sure.
The only thing that was new to me, it was 2 things that was new to me. I didn't realize what Scottie Pippen was going through there with the money situation. So that was new. How Michael Jordan went at the Phoenix Suns because of Krause's like or love for Dan Marley. Didn't know that. And what I took away from it is what I've always known. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball ever played. I told Ryan the other day, I said the NBA can never play again. I'll be fine because I already saw the goal. I don't care if they ever lace up some more shoes. I already saw the greatest ever play. So it don't really matter to me.
I learned that Michael Jordan seemed like he was the only player in them first couple years with the Bulls that wanted to win. Everybody else just wanted to party and make money. It seems like that's how the players are today. And the second thing I learned is that Doug Collins' lust for Michael Jordan.
No homo. Oh,
I didn't know his. I didn't know that he held him in such high esteem. And then Michael Jordan's resistance to the system with Phil Jackson. I didn't know that that bothered him
Absolutely.
as much as it did.
Well, looking at The Last Dance, I have some interesting takes on it. I guess I'll be Mr. Controversy since you guys are being so gracious. One, there was definitely some backstories that I didn't hear. The Marley thing was definitely one of those. One thing that I will say, not just about that, but just in general, Mike was a different kind of human being. He would either find a way to get a competitive edge based off of something someone said or did, or he would even manufacture information. Like the situation with the kid out of Washington. He's just gonna make up that the dude insulted him, and then he gonna bust his head open the next night. Like, who does that? Like, I'm mad at you about what you said, and the dude like, I didn't say anything to you, bro. So that was something interesting with Mike. He was on a different level from that perspective. If he needed an edge, he was already great. But if he felt he needed an edge, he found a way to get it. And I think that's missing from a lot of stars today. They don't have that edge. They just kind of approach the game. I've been in some heated situations just in the open gym. Them guys take it real serious. Seems like these NBA guys just like kind of out there.
What do you think? In saying like the guys today, do you think what guys do you the NBA players that win championships? Do you think they have it?
Have what, that the manufacturing of an edge? I don't know if the guys take it that far. I mean, you may see it happen for a game or possession, but I don't see it over the course of a series for most of these guys.
You don't think that the beef that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Chris Paul have on the court is reminiscent of that era?
It's to some degree, but that's like one situation. Like, they got the issue with that guy, but you don't see them coming out and saying, CJ and Dame think they the best. They not the best, and we're going to show them in this series. You don't see that kind of stuff.
But you do see how KD responds when they talk to him about LeBron James and how he hates being second to LeBron James and he wants to win. Like, when you say the edge, the only person you're talking about is Michael Jordan. What other people from that era had that edge?
Oh, no, I agree. That's why I didn't say anything about the era. I said he's a different human being, period. Nobody's doing it now, and wasn't nobody doing it back then but him. He's a different kind of cat.
Shaquille O'Neal did it with David Robinson.
But again, that's one thing. Mike was making up stuff on the regular season on a Wednesday night in February. It's a back-to-back against Washington. Washington wasn't good.
But Shaq made up a whole thing for the career to go at David Robinson, and he lied about it until he wrote his book.
That's funny.
He had David Robinson thinking like, did I ever not get that young man an autograph?
Yeah.
Now, Shaq did that when he was not even in the league.
Here's the other thing, though, about The Last Dance that I find interesting. Now, obviously, Michael had a lot to do with the production of it, and I want to get you guys' thoughts on it. More so Ryan than Ron, because I know Mike is like your guy. But I feel like every time they brought a situation to Mike, it just he made the situation laughable. For example, they interviewed Gary Payton, and they talked about his approach to the finals, and the first couple games he wasn't guarding him. Jordan Carl kept him away from him. He wanted to be there, and the coach wouldn't allow him. Finally, he's like, "Hey man, I'm going over there." and the series did change.
Okay.
Was it because of that matchup or not? Maybe, maybe not. But what are your thoughts on every time Mike was challenged, he laughed. They would hand him the iPad, he would listen to whatever the person had to say, and he laughed. He was dismissive about any and everyone.
But that's Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, with that competitive edge, finds it amusing that guys have all these the scouting reports and stuff like that, and they come up like Gary Payton said, just get physical. You know what I'm saying? He got physical, and Michael Jordan just found it amusing because Michael Jordan knows that he's that good where that doesn't bother him. But guys,
you give Gary no validity to what he said, no credit.
Well, I mean, whatever helps Gary Payton to sleep at night. But at the end of the day, the results were what they are. That they lost in 6. And it was what it was.
I agree with what Ryan said, but what I want to add to it is it already happened. See, for Gary to come up with and George Karl, he was nursing a hamstring or whatever was going on. Why did it take y'all down 3-0 for you to say I want now? That was down 3-0. The Chicago Bulls in 1995. It took you that long. It took you down 3 games to then say that. Listen, I thought one out there is similar to that. Kobe Bryant lit the Detroit Pistons up game 1 of the finals. Tayshaun Princeton wait till they was down 3-0 to say, give me the Mamba. Why'd you wait 3 games? So Michael Jordan to me is laughing at something like, dude, y'all got beat. And it wasn't from Gary. It wasn't from you. Mike said in that documentary, I had a lot on my mind. I tell my dude all the time, and people call me crazy, the way that they was whooping on them, I think Michael Jordan wanted to win on Father's Day. I'm dead serious.
You said that before.
I'm dead serious, dude, because and that was before the Last Dance, Dave, because at the Last Dance, Michael Jordan said, I had a lot on my mind. What you think he was talking about?
Yeah, he didn't specify. Yeah.
He laughed. Told you was down 3-0, and then all of a sudden now you want to, man, it's time now, dog. It's time for the glove. No, bro, it was already a wrap.
You're down 3-0.
Man. The Chicago Bulls in 1995, up 3-0, wasn't losing to nobody. Like my dude said in White Man Can't Jump, you can bring Bernard King in here. We will be home and
out of here. That's one of my favorite lines.
Feel me? 3 games? 03 NBA Finals against a team that won 72. Now you want to guard the GOAT. Come on, man. Come on, man. I don't even think he really thought what was about to happen. I don't think so.
I like his thought process.
I think to be honest, I think they should have kept feeding Ryan's boy Sean Kemp and let him eat the worm. Pause. All series. That's what they should have kept doing. Give Raymond a ball, and let's find out what the chips don't like. Because Michael Jordan is more laughing at the y'all still lost, in my opinion. Then because he said I respect the glove, but I wasn't worried about Gary Payton, and I don't think he was. I don't think there was a basketball player that Michael Jordan felt that could guard him or stop him for a series in the NBA. I think LeBron James feels the same way. Kawhi Leonard, KD, Steph Curry, James Harden. Them is guys, Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis. Them is guys that feel you cannot stop me for 4 games. Maybe y'all will win, but you're not going to be able to do nothing with me for 4.
Here's the caveat to that too, and it's different for Mike than any of those other guys that you named, including Kawhi Leonard, because I don't buy into all the narrative that's going on right now, but it is what it is. That's a different discussion for a different show. Mike looked at it from the perspective of, I'm a damn handful, for one. You got to deal with me. But then on the flip side, I'm a damn handful on defense too. So I'm going to make your life a living hell, and then if I decide maybe I don't want to, I'm gonna let Scotty go over there, or I'm gonna send Ron over there. That situation, particularly for perimeter guys, if you the man and you got to guard Mike and get yours off too,
was dangerous. Was dangerous because
be a long series, bro.
Because even if you was guarding Mike, they can send Scotty at anybody and free Mike up.
He can chill. He can guard your weak link if that's what they want to do.
That's what they can do, man. It's one of them situations. I would love to see them do if they had other documentaries. This was something that they had going for a while.
Yeah.
I would love to see other instances of basketball teams do this. Hold up. All right, I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay. I would love to see other teams do it, man. I think that would be sweet, just to see what was going on. I would like to see behind closed doors, man. I would love to see that KD, Draymond Green situation. I would love to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff with Kobe and Shaq. The whole I would love to see that Miami Heat.
I was just about to say that.
But not even the winning years, just that first year.
Yeah. Not one, not two, not three, not four. Get to the finals and don't win.
Because I just would like to see what was on a lot of players' minds in the back. Like, you know what I mean? But see, it's the NBA is so accessible right now with Twitters and social media outlets, and everything just is already out there. But I still would like they could do some stuff like that. I love to see stuff where you get a first-hand view of what's going on. You know what I mean, behind the situations. A lot of that stuff you don't know. Something else. I don't think any of us really knew that they would allow Rodman getaway days.
I remember that.
Okay.
Because I remember the Vegas trip, and then I also remember him, not just them giving him days, him just taking days. Because I was a big wrestling fan at the time as well. And I remember seeing the dude, like, it's the middle of the finals.
Yeah, but I didn't know. Yeah, I saw that too. I saw that too, but you know what? Back in the day, sometimes you wouldn't know if that wrestler was live.
Oh no, but see that Monday night was a live situation for them.
It was, but think about it like this too.
Bro.
But
he got there with Diamond Dallas Page in them.
Yeah, true. But they didn't. But today, if the NBA players try to do that, they'll walk him up out of there.
They're gonna tear his contract up.
They'll walk him out of there.
You ain't going nowhere, bro.
Yep.
You don't want your money, because that's a breach of contract. You can't ride a motorcycle, so you can't go to Vegas on company time.
Right.
Not gonna happen.
Right.
Not gonna happen. But I enjoyed the Last Dance. It was good to kind of reflect and reminisce, and just see Mike in that light. Even though I witnessed a lot of it. Some of the earlier parts of his career, I was younger, and so I didn't have a full appreciation for what I was seeing. And just to see some of that action, I can always go back and look at the numbers, but to actually see some of those highlights and to see, his take of, hey man, this game ain't over. Give me the ball. Or hey man, it's one possession left. I know we got a minutes restriction, but put me in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like to see that kind of stuff.
Right.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you for listening. This is RDR Talking Numbers. As I mentioned earlier, please make sure that you subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to, whether it be iHeart, Spreaker, Deezer, Google, Apple, whatever it is. Make sure you subscribe. Go over to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed there as well. Follow us on Instagram at RDRTalking_podcast. We love to interact with you. We love to hear you Throw some topics at us. We love to hear you respond to the things that we've said here on the show. And make sure you subscribe to YouTube as well, because we'll be airing the podcast audio. We'll be airing the podcast as video on YouTube, and then we've got some other content that will appear on YouTube as well. So as always, live well, laugh often, and love much. We'll catch up with you soon. Peace.